We'll do a brief check-in. If you want to use a stick for that, you can do that. And the whole purpose of this is just to bring ourselves into our bodies and get us ready without getting overly tense. So you can keep your eyes open. You can close them if you want. We'll just do a scan from the head down. So whatever helps you identify, where it is we're going to go, I'll just kind of guide you through this with words, but I like a visual. I like the sense of this feeling of warm oil just passing down from the top. So whatever helps you with that. So we'll start at the top of the head. And again, think of the whole 360 degrees around your body as we do this, as we go through from level to level. Feeling that oil, that warmth as it comes down from the top of the head down to the level of the eyes. As we reach each level, we release tension that may be present in many different forms. Passing from the top of the eyes through the middle part of the head, the nasal passages, the ears, the back of the head. Moving down into the area of the mouth, the tongue, the small of the back of the head. Passing down through the jaw into the neck and the cervical spine, where our vocal cords are. Moving into the tops of the shoulders, the meaty part of the shoulders close to the neck, and then spreading out towards the extent of each shoulder on both sides. Progressing into each arm, moving from the upper arm down toward the elbows. And from the elbows into the forearms, into the wrists, into the palms of the hands, and into the fingers, all the way through the fingertips. If it helps you to move any of these body parts, you're welcome to do that. Then returning back to the level of the shoulders, progressing into the upper part of the trunk, the areas where the armpits are. That space between our collarbone and our heart. Moving down into the level of the heart, the mid-spine area, the sternum. Beginning to feel our breath maybe more pronounced in this area. So we progress down towards the area of the diaphragm where we start to sense more of the organs, the stomach. The liver area, our kidneys and our backs. Moving into the lower abdomen and the lower trunk. Progressing down to the pelvic floor. The small of the back, the lower back. About where the tailbone begins. Progressing into the hips, and the upper thighs, into the groin. into the middle part of the thighs, down toward the knees. Through the knees and down into the lower leg, the shins and the calves. Continuing to make our way toward our ankles. Into our feet, feeling the bottom of our feet in our shoes or in the floor, feeling the tops of our feet. Again, progressing all the way to the toes and into the ends of the toes. And taking just another moment or two to do a final scan, maybe coming back to the top, progressing in any areas that might have needed a little more attention. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them now. Continuing to stand tall in this position here. We're just going to start with shoulder rolls moving forward. Still breathing as we do this. Inhaling and exhaling. One more forward, and then we'll reverse direction going backward. One more backward. And then we'll go forward again, but this time with the arms moving entirely with the shoulders, starting small and gradually making them larger. One more time forward, and then we'll reverse direction backward. Nice and easy. One more time backward. And then shake it loose. And now we'll take it more deliberately. So with our arms straight at the elbows, our palms facing back, we're going to raise the arms forward. As we do that, we're thinking of drawing our shoulders down as we raise our arms totally into the up position. And then when we're there, we're going to pull back as far as we can. And when we're in that position, as we pull back, we'll bring the arms out and back and down, engaging heavily through the shoulder blades. And when we come down, we'll internally rotate the hands into the original position. And then we'll reverse it, pulling the arms back as far as we can. Once we're there, externally rotating the shoulders so the palms start to face forward, and then we'll raise the arms up. Still breathing, drawing the shoulders down as the arms come up. And then forward and down in front. Finding a way to breathe through this whole process. We'll repeat that again, coming forward and up. If you find any sticking points, maybe trying to hold there, kind of feel your way through that. Don't feel like you have to keep up with anybody. Feel your way through this. And then we'll reverse it one more time. Avoiding any breath holding. Very good. Shaking it loose. So with the left arm, we're going to bring it in front. And we're going to bend at the elbow and then raise it up over the top of the head and then pulling it back as far as we can. And then dropping that arm to the side and then extending at the elbow. And then repeating that again, I'll give you the side view. So bending, raising up, above, and then behind the head as far as you comfortably can. And then bringing that arm down and extending the arm as we do that. And then we'll reverse it. So we'll bring that arm out to the side. Then we'll bend the elbow like we're going to bring the fist toward the head, but we're coming behind the head as far back as we can, then in front and down. And then extending at the bottom. And then again, we'll give the side view here. So raising the arm up, then bending at the elbow. Bringing that fist behind our head as far as we can, and then over into the front. And then down, extending the elbow as we're coming to that beginning position. Shaking it out. Now we'll repeat that with the right arm. So again, bringing it up in a bent elbow position. Raising and pulling that arm up behind the head. And then lowering that arm to the side. And then extending the elbow as it comes to the level of the shoulders and down. And then in front again, bending the elbow, raising that arm up. Again, trying to use the shoulders as much as we can, pulling back as far as we can. Then dropping that shoulder down to the side, extending at the elbow, back to the beginning. Now we'll reverse it. So we'll raise that arm out to the side. Bend that elbow like we're making a fist. We're going to punch our head, but we're bringing that arm behind our head as far as we can, and then over the top to the front and across, and extending the arm as we come down. And then one more time up, bending the elbow, bringing that arm behind as well as we can. And then over the top of the head. Extending the arm as we come back to that straight arm position. Very good. Shake it loose. So keeping the hands on hips, we'll just rotate the shoulders over the top of the hips, making a circle in both directions. Gently experimenting with where that transition point is and the change of direction. One more time in each direction. Then we'll keep the shoulders square and we'll rotate the hips around in circles. One more time in each direction. Bringing the feet together, hands just above the knees on the thighs, and we'll make circles with the knees. One more time in each direction with this. And then standing tall, picking a foot, bringing the toe onto the floor, and then we're going to rotate the ankle, again in both directions. Can be as engaged as you'd like with the hip and the knee to give that range of motion through the ankle. Looking straight ahead, trying to be cognizant of our position of our body. We don't have to look at our feet to do this. And then let's switch feet. Just kind of feel your way through what's happening here. Again, both directions. And then step it out a little bit, and heel toe rockers. So all the way up on our toes, and then pulling those toes up, balancing a little bit on our heels. Work your way through this deliberately. Try not to rocket through it too quickly in either direction. Let's do one more. And then step it out. Okay, grab a drink if you need it. We will be using very, very light handheld weights. So we're going to go through an add-on. The first time we do any of the movements, when it's initially introduced, you're going to do it without any resistance for the benefit of knowing how the movement works. And then we'll proceed by adding weight as you desire. There'll be a lot of fatigue that builds up over time, which is fine. Just something to get prepared for. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to extend our arms. Our palms will be down, or you can make fists. And all we're going to do is we're going to retract our shoulders and then protract them forward as far as we can. Pull back and then push forward. Okay, empty hands. This will be the movement that we repeat the most often. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, and here we go. Pushing forward and then pulling back. And the idea is to do this without shrugging the shoulders. So we want those shoulders drawn down. Coordinate your breath with your movements. "15 more seconds with this. Three, 2, and 1. And arms down, shake it loose. So we'll do that again. This is the point where if you want to add weight, you can start adding weight with this one. It is not required. You can use weight sometimes, and you can use empty hands other times. So we'll start in 10 seconds, repeating that same exact movement. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Straight arm, pull back, and then push forward. Mindful of your spinal position. We're not doing anything with our neck or our lower back to accommodate range of motion. Still have those 3 points of contact in place. 20 more seconds. Five seconds left. 2, 1, and recover. The next movement, we're going to pull back. We're going to pull our elbows out and back like so, and then back into that straight position. So we're going to bend the elbows this time, pulling back, kind of pulling the elbows back at maybe like a 45-degree angle. So we'll start in 10 seconds. Again, this one will be empty-handed. Standing tall. In 2, 1, here we go. Again, trying to keep those arms up at the level of our shoulders without shrugging the shoulders. Coordinating our breath with these movements as well as we can. "15 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. And shake it loose. Going back to the beginning with each of those two, and then we'll add the third after that. So again, you can use weight for these next two, and then we'll go empty-handed for the third. Starting in 10 seconds. Starting in 5 seconds. 2, 1, here we go. Again, we want to feel not just the pull back, but the push forward. So we're moving the shoulders out of that normal anatomical position as we pull back and as we push forward, but we're not compromising our spine position. 15 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Now we pull back again, pulling those elbows out and back with weight if you desire, starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Twenty seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Empty hands. Arms will be back out into the position of our body. Palms can be down or palms facing forward, and I'm just going to pull back as far as I can and then come back into the plane of our shoulders or plane of our body, trying to keep the shoulders at shoulder height or the arms at shoulder height the whole time. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Pulling back as far as we can, and then back into the plane of our body. Small, subtle movement. Trying to engage those muscles between our shoulder blades as well as we can. Still breathing. Maintaining that good spinal position. 15 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it loose. From the top, using weight if you'd like for all three of those, and then we'll add the fourth, which we will do hands free or weight free. We'll start in 10 seconds. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Pulling back and pushing forward. Twenty more seconds. 10 left. 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll allow the elbows to bend and we'll pull back, pulling the elbows back and out. as we do that. We'll start in 15 seconds, trying to keep the arms at shoulder height as well as we can. Just kind of practice feeling that spinal position with your stick on your back. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Keeping those elbows up and pulling back. Keeping our gaze straight ahead as well as we can. Trying to feel our way through the movement, not trying to have to see ourselves as we do this. "15 more seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Back to that T-arm position and pulling back from there. So the arms are in the plane of the body, and then trying to pull back as well as we can. The palms can face down to the floor or face forward, whatever is more comfortable. So we'll start that in 10 seconds. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. A lot of fatigue starting to build up, so be mindful of anything and everything. You can start to get distracted by how tired we feel. "15 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Hands empty. We will now externally rotate the arms at the shoulders. So in that same T-arm position, all I'm going to do is rotate my palms from the down position all the way to the up position at my shoulders, not just at my elbow. Okay. Palms empty. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1. Here we go. Draw those shoulders down and then begin to rotate. Again, we don't have to do this fast. I just want you to get a feel for it. The movement is subtle until you really start to feel. Then you realize how engaged you are through the shoulder blades. Using muscles that we didn't know really were there to be used. But if we can engage those, we can relieve some pressure on other muscle groups that have been taking on the responsibility that they didn't need to have, and moving our shoulders, stabilizing our shoulders. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it loose. All of those again with weight if you desire. This is the last time through. The final one will be with or without weight, but we've been doing it historically without weight. So we'll start in 10 seconds with the first movement. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Twenty more seconds. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Allowing the elbows to bend, and we're going to pull back with the arms this time. Weight can be used as an option if you'd like. We'll start in 15 seconds. Again, trying to keep the arms at shoulder height. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Fifteen more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. The Maté arm position, keeping the arms straight. We're going to pull the arms back behind our body. And then bringing them back into the plane of the body, the starting position. Again, with or without weight, we'll start in 10 seconds. Be mindful of your 3 points of contact. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Twenty more seconds. 10 seconds left. Resist the urge to shrug. 3, 2, and 1. In that T position, we'll now externally rotate the arms. Again, you can use weight here if you desire. Not a requirement. Again, we're trying to think about high quality movement, trying to control what's happening as well as we can. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Externally rotating as far as you can and then coming back to the palms down position. Fifteen seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. And the last one without weight. We're going to hold that externally rotated position, so palms up at the shoulders, and then we'll rotate internally and externally at the elbows. Not just the wrist, but trying to do it from the elbow at the forearm as we hold the shoulders in external rotation. Starting in 5 seconds. Externally rotating the shoulders. And here we go, rotating only at the forearms. Still mindful of our 3 points of contact. Knowing we can control our shoulders and independently control what's happening from the elbow down. They can move independently of one another. Fifteen more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it loose. Grab a drink if you need it. We'll be using our bands next around our legs. Actually, we'll start around our ankles. And I'll bring this camera down just a little bit. So what we'll do is we're going to keep one foot at the center of the clock. The opposite foot is going to touch the numbers from 12 to 6. It's not required to do any balancing unless you don't have a band. Then you can do it as single leg balance. We're going to touch, pull the foot back without touching, and then touch the next number. If you have a band, just focus on touching the numbers with that foot. So in 5 seconds, the left leg will stay and we'll touch 12 to 6. And 2, 1, here we go. My body stays square to the camera. And I'll reach from all the numbers from that point. Once I get to 6, I'm going to rotate back in the way that I came. My vision is straight ahead. I don't need to look down at the floor or my feet. I'm looking straight ahead. I know where the numbers are. I can just feel my way through it. Once we get to 12, we can just step it out, walk it out a little bit. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. The right foot will stay stationary and we'll go 12 to 6 on the other side of the clock, starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Still breathing, no breath holding. Once you get to 12, you're done. And now we'll bring that strap or that band up around the level of the knees. It can be above or below. Either way is fine. And we'll be doing a super slow squat this time. So we're just going to exaggerate the slowness of the movement without compromising range of motion, as low as we can go and then all the way up into a standing position, starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Again, our gaze is straight ahead. We don't need to be looking down at our feet. Keep breathing. Twenty seconds left. Three, 2, and 1. Shake it loose. We'll bring the bands back down to the ankles. We're going to repeat what we did the first time, but we're just going to try and take the step a little bit further. Okay? Don't worry about pace, but try to get just a little bit more distance with each reach to the numbers. Left foot stays stationary. We're going to touch the numbers with the right foot, starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Again, you can weight shift to each number, so you can be stepping back to the 4, 5, and 6 number. That's totally fine. Once you get to 6, come back to the numbers in reverse. Once you get to 12 again, you'll be done. Just kind of step it out. And then we'll keep the right foot stationary, touching 12 to 6 on the other side of the clock. We'll start that in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Again, just a little bit more aggressive in terms of the step length. You can weight shift back to the numbers behind you. And when you get to 12 again, you'll be done. Step it out, and we'll bring that band back up to the level of the knees. We'll go from super slow squat to speed squat. So again, speed just implies faster than a normal cadence. And we'll start that in 5 seconds. Again, full range of motion all the way down and all the way up. Here we go. We're not letting that knee buckle on either leg. It stays right over your foot. Inhale and exhale. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Allowing that band to go back to our ankles. Same thing we've done. We're going to take the longest step we can this time. Starting in 5 seconds, touching the numbers with the right leg. In 2, 1, here we go. The biggest step we've taken so far. When you get to 12, you're done. And just step it out. And then we'll repeat again with the right leg being stationary, the left leg touching the numbers. Again, taking the longest step we've taken so far. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Keep breathing. When you get to 12, you're done. Bringing that band back to our knees. And we'll just do a conventional squat. Get your normal cadence, full range of motion. Just imagine something in your life that requires you to sit or lower yourself to the floor and then come back up into a standing position and try to project yourself into that as you do this movement. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Just like Goldilocks, not too slow, not too fast. It's just right. "15 more seconds. "5 seconds left. 2, 1. Take that band off, step it out. We're going to finish by doing what we did before without an add-on. So we'll do the same movements in the shoulders in sequence. You can use weight or you can go without weight. But we're going to do each one in single leg balance. So as we're doing the movement, we'll transition from balancing on one leg to the other. Okay, so again, use weight if you'd like. Mix and match weight depending on the movements, but be mindful that we're in single leg balance for all of this. So the straight arm pullback will start first. We'll go in 10 seconds, pick your leg, and then we'll proceed from there. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Switching feet in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ten more seconds. Looking straight ahead as well as we can. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it loose. Allowing the elbows to bend, we're pulling back now. Same concept, single leg balance, transitioning feet halfway. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Switching feet in 5 seconds. 2, 1, other side. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. With the arms in that straight T position, we're just going to pull the arms back. Again, transitioning from one leg to the other as we do so. Starting in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, here we go. Switching legs in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, transition to the other leg. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it loose. Externally rotating at the shoulders. Again, pick the leg you want to start balancing on, then we'll switch from there. Starting in 10 seconds. Starting in 5 seconds. 2, 1. Here we go. As much external rotation as we can get. Switching legs in 5 seconds. In 2, 1, other leg. Five more seconds. 2, 1, arms down. Last movement. So with the arms in the next external rotated position, then we'll rotate at the forearm. Again, single leg balance, switching legs halfway. Starting in 10 seconds. Starting in 5 seconds. 2, 1, here we go. Switching legs in 5 seconds. 2, 1, other foot. Still breathing. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out, walk it out, catch your breath, grab a drink. Okay, let's start ratcheting it down. So we'll just do shoulder circles or shoulder rolls forward. Again, we've really challenged range of motion, so gently feel your way through this without compromising your spinal position. See how much range you've got. One more time in this direction, and then we'll reverse it. One more time. And forward arm circles. So arms are straight. We're rotating the arms. Probably going to feel a lot of fatigue as we do this, so just take it easy. Repetitions aren't what counts. We're just range of motion exploring here. One more time in this direction, and then we'll reverse it. Find a way to breathe with this. See how breathing can be complemented with the movement. One more time. And then shake it loose. And then we'll ratchet that arm. So we'll bring the arm forward with the bent arm and then up and behind as far as we can, then out to the side. As we drop that arm down, we extend at the elbow. And we'll do that one more time. Up in front, pulling it back as far as we can. And then out to the side, extending at the elbow as the arm comes down. And then we'll reverse it, raising the arm up, bending as it comes up at the elbow, bringing that arm behind as far as we can. And then over the front, extending on the way down, then raising out to the side, bending at the elbow again, making that fist, pulling but behind the head, and then over the top to the front, and then shake it loose at the bottom with the right arm, to the front with the arm bent, bringing it up and behind as far as we can, and then out and down, extending the arm at the bottom there, and repeating it again. Pulling as far back as we can before we start to bring it down to the side. Extending the elbow as we come to the bottom, and then we'll reverse it, raising the arm up, bending at the elbow with a fist, pulling it behind our heads as far as we can, and then to the front and down as we extend the arm. And then one more time. Just trying to make it smooth as we go through this process. It started very choppy. I'm trying to smooth everything out. Shaking it loose. Hands on hips, keeping the shoulders square. We're going to make hip circles. Both directions, experimenting with that transitional point. One more time in each direction. Hips stationary, coming down to the knees, making circles with the knees as well as we can. Again, experimenting with that transitional point. One more time in each direction. And then standing tall. Pick a foot, making circles with that ankle of that foot. Loosen the hip and the knee above it, giving yourself as much range as you can through the ankle. One more time in each direction. And then we'll switch to the other leg. One more time in each direction. Heel and toe rockers. And the next time we come on our toes, we're going to reach over our heads with our arms. The big inhale, and then slowly let ourselves down as the arms come down. And when our heel's down and our arms are down, we will call that one done. Good job.